There we go. I always end up talking over that otherwise. But yes, as I said, welcome to our MSc Finance with Data Science session today. Really pleased to have you all join us. I'm Grace Gayward. I'm the Student Recruitment Marketing Manager. I'll be here in the background and just kind of moderating with some of the questions, but the people you've actually come to hear from, you can probably see their faces on the screen. So we're joined by Dorothy and Andrea. Dorothy is our MSc Finance Program Director and Andrea is our MSc Finance with Data Science Program Director. You'll be hearing from both of them throughout the session today. You can also see we've got some other colleagues on the call. So we have our colleagues Sebi, Jonathan and Emily. They are all part of our program administration team for the Finance with Data Science and the finance programs. So they'll be able to give any insights if you're asking specific questions, potentially about applications or modules and things like that. But yes, without further ado, I will stop talking and hand over to you, Andrea.
Thanks a lot, Grace, for the great presentation. I'm really thrilled to talk with you attendees about the brand new MSc Finance with Data Science. So thanks a lot for joining. Let us start because there is so much to talk about and Q&A is very, very relevant. So MSc Finance with Data Science is really something that you will not find anywhere else because you have the perfect blend between a strong theoretical finance background and the empirical side brought by data science. And it's not that you have just finance or only data science, but you have a nice combination of the two of them. So it's going to be very much technical with mathematics, statistics, various econometric models, and data science models. We are going to code in Python. I know that many of you are probably very much familiar with Python, others are not. No worries. We will provide you with all the support to get to the top. So this is going to be very much data-driven. The various assessments and teaching events will entail a very empirical component as well. And this will lead you to become technical as well, very skillful with data science skills, big data, forecasting, and you will be able to find multiple jobs in the finance realm that will be technical, and perhaps without this degree, you will not be entitled to apply for. And you will be able to be part of teams that are multicultural, very diverse, in which you will be able to talk and liaise with data scientists, economists, and other types of figures. There are some entry requirements which are pretty standard. These are English level requirements. Here I just mentioned a couple of them, the IELTS and the TOEFL, but there are other types of English language equivalents that you can find in UCL website. You will need to have a quantitative undergraduate degree to one level or something equivalent. This means that you may have studied business, economics, finance, management, other types of art sciences, engineering, and so on and so forth. Importantly, GMAT or GRE are not required. However, if you have a test score for the GRE, that is going to be considered. For the GRE, what is relevant is the quantitative part. So any mark that you may get in a score 165 and plus can give some additional weight. For finance with data science, GMAT can be considered as well, but is not that relevant as could be the GRE. Importantly, when you apply, don't forget to apply with your CV. That must be very much readable, clean, with all the relevant information. You may want to submit a personal statement. That is not mandatory though, okay? So how do you structure this program? So this is a joint program where you will get the expertise, the research expertise, and the teaching expertise from the UCL School of Management, but also from UCL Department of Economics. Both of them are very well established, and they will bring this combination of modules that will last for 12 months Before the beginning, we will provide you with some professional courses completely for free in summertime. They will be useful for you that you may have a very different background to bring you, all of you to the same initial level. The teaching will take place in our campus. As you can see, this is one of our lecture rooms in my background. But for finance with data science, you will also spend quite a lot of time in our trading floor room, which is a study room available for all of you, but also a teaching room where you will work with Bloomberg terminals, with many, many Bloomberg terminals, and other data sources for your projects. In effect, you will work on finance research projects, and you will get quite substantial support to enhance your skills. But I will speak a little bit more about the finance research projects later on. The nice aspect of being in Canary Wharf is that we are in the city where all the banks are, where credit rating agencies and other finance companies are located. This means that that is really an ideal location for having networking events. Guest speakers coming in, lunch breaks with financial practitioners, and many careers events. I will say more about careers events later on. How is going to work your journey in the finance with data science program degree? This is going to work. You have some terms every 3 months. The term one is the initial one. Then you have the spring term, term two, and then towards the summer you have term three, and then the summertime. As the slide suggests, there are some compulsory modules. For example, the first two modules, financial econometrics and data science, and corporate finance and financial markets, are only two because they are very large, and they will give you all the bases that you will need to succeed in this master degree. Then in term two, you will have additional compulsory modules, and they will give you already some direction if you want to strengthen your skills towards forecasting and time series analysis, or you want to work more with big data and machine learning techniques. Something that then you will enhance even more with the optional modules. We have 6 optional modules. I'm pretty sure that some of you will be quite excited about behavioral finance and neuroeconomics. I would understand you if that's the case. I would understand also if you are very much interested into risk management or options and derivatives. There is plenty of choice, and you will pick up 4 of them. All of these will support you for your data-driven research projects. It's not the classical dissertation. These are really research projects that you can sell out in the job market pretty well to find a job, because you will have 2 main tracks, the forecasting track and the big data track. And of course, you can propose your own research projects, perhaps suggested with from a consultancy or for a financial company. Quite often we receive proposals from finance companies for dissertation, okay? And as you can see, all these modules will prepare you for your final research project. We don't have only the MSc Finance with data science, we also have the MSc Finance, and Dorothy will say a little bit more. Let me just say what we have in common. We have quite a lot in common in the sense that the faculty that is teaching in both masters are coming from the Department of Economics and the School of Management. This is really leading. Thinking about the QS rankings, we are speaking about the top 10 university, are both of them very demanding programs, although they are not, of course, identical. And in a few seconds, Dorothy will tell you a little bit more about MSc Finance. You will have access to all the facilities, the campus facilities, alumni, the growing network of our alumni, careers events, multiple guest speakers. We have events almost every day in our campus, and art data, Bloomberg terminals. What was called earlier Refinitiv, now is called London Stock Exchange Group Workspace, CRISP, and other data set that you are going to use in your modules. But now let me hand over to Dorothy for the MSc Finance.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you, and it's great to be here today. As introduced earlier, I'm the program director of the MSc Finance program, which has been a long-standing program at UCL. So some of you may not come across it before, but I think before I just go into the program in a bit more detail, I think it's important to know that the MSc Finance itself has also been significantly revamped in the current year. So the 25-26 entry MSc Finance is a vastly different program from what MSc Finance, even though it has the same title, has been in the previous years. And what I would say is that the MSc Finance previously was a little bit of a mix between MSc Finance Now and MSc Finance with Data Science. So it was MSc Finance kind of generalist program, but with a heavy leaning towards quantitative areas. And what we've done this year is that we've decided to refine both of the program curriculums in with a much more greater focus on either being a specialist program with significantly heavy quantitative elements, or a generalist program for people who want a firm grounding in finance subject areas. So they are two very kind of different programs. MSc Finance is very different from it has been in its previous iterations. So it's important for you to understand that. It's also important for you to know that, I guess, MSc Finance with Data Science, although it's brand new this year, it's not completely new in the sense that we've had established elements of it in our pre-existing program. And the thing I could say to you about the finance program as we have it now, we're super excited about it. It is also a very demanding program, but in different ways. It covers a lot of material in a condensed profile. It has exceptional CFA coverage. So this program is really geared towards people who would like to, say, become financial analysts or work in asset management, working in management consultancy, and so on. And all of these usually ask for your CFA. This program will fast track you through your CFA elements because it covers essentially all of your level 1 and a majority of your level 2 CFA topics. It's not to say that the program just teaches the CFA. It's more like this program covers the academic foundations of the CFA topics to enable you to quickly kind of get up to speed with the CFA exams. So just quickly on the program, again, we have core and compulsory modules. So term 1, we have quantitative methods, corporate issuers, fixed income, financial statement analysis as your beginning core. And then in term 2, we have 2 more core modules, derivatives and portfolio management. So those give you all the academic foundations. And then we let you specialize a bit in terms of applying some of those theories and frameworks into practice. And we have some optional modules here that you could then choose from. And similar to the data science program, we do then have a research project, which takes you from kind of middle of term 3 through to the summer. That research project, again, is not a traditional research dissertation. So it's very much an industry applied kind of research project, hoping for you to really work with real world data, hopefully even work with a few companies on applied, for specific projects. Some we can source for you, others we hope that you could source yourselves. And these will allow you to kind of focus your interests and focus on one of these tracks that would have build from your optional modules to something that's very highly relevant and practical. Great.
So, thanks a lot, Dorothy. And just to clarify, we decided to increase our offer simply because we listen to the employers. We want to keep you, regardless of whether you're going to go for the finance with data science or MSc Finance, with the right skills that will enable you to succeed not only today, but also in the next 10 years. So we are located in 1 Canada Square, very tall building. My office is on level 50, very nice view, and most likely you will spend quite a lot of your time in level 50 and level 38. Next year, we will also have level 49, where we will have our trading floor, Bloomberg room, lab, and I'm really excited about that. The location, as I anticipated earlier, is very strategic because we are in the financial district and you can really meet lunchtime, afternoon time, evening time, financial practitioners, and we host various types of events. Very recently, we are hosting the Leaders Seminar Series, where next Monday we are going to have the CEO of an hedge fund coming to speak to us, to alumni, to students, and to faculty members as well. Why I'm mentioning this? Because you may think UCL is a huge university, so you may feel that, oh, I'm just like a number. No, we feel to be truly a community. And that's very much witnessed by how many colleagues have been joining this call with me, okay? And the trajectory is to expand more and more in numbers as well as in floors, providing you with additional resources. A testimony of our community, you can see that there are multiple student societies. Dorothy and I are in touch with some of them, for example, the Investment Society, but there is Women in Finance. There is also societies for those that are more interested into asset management, and more will come also for open for postgraduate students, not only undergraduate students. And our students are happy to stay with us, which means that they're also happy to come back with us as alumni. And that's why I do love speaking about UCL School of Management community. Okay, we all go to the same direction. And in this sense, we are very much supported by our departmental careers team. UCL has its own careers team, of course, but we also have our own focused careers team. This is dedicated. These are professionals that have years of experience in understanding the finance job market, how it is changing, supporting with one-to-one meetings. Students, you can check your CV, your cover letter, practice with mock interviews. We also have multiple events such as speed networking and alumni meetings. In the welcome week, you will also be meeting your career team, so they will be visible to you, okay? And there will be multiple career sections. Very importantly, you will not get the support only while you're a student. You will get supporting after that you got graduated. Up to 3 years, you are entitled to get the support from the careers team. But I will say that once that you are a School of Management student, you are forever in your home. So you will always be able to come back to us, speak to us, liaise, and collaborate with us. That's what we love to do, we strive to do, and there are networking opportunities throughout the whole academic year, not just in a single event, with employers, alumni, and you will get access to all the facilities and support that we can provide so that you can get your dream job. That's why we are here for that. And we also have many tools, for example, something that is electronic, not only in person, face to face. We use different tools such as VMOC for optimize CV, LinkedIn profiles, which is more and more important. We also have Case Coach for interview preparation, Icarus Grads, and other types of support. I know that many of you come from different geographical locations. We are able to support the job market in various geographical locations where our careers team is really have skills in every continent, I would say. Dorothy mentioned some of the graduate roles for the MSc Finance, but let me mention also the potential graduate roles for you. Clearly, if you study finance with data science, you will become very strong in data-driven analysis. So it's very much expected that you will get quantitative roles. The finance realm is very wide and deep, so you can become a credit analyst. Perhaps in the credit rating agency that is in our same building. I will not make the name, but it's very simple to find out, which is a portfolio analyst. I know that many of you are very interested into risk management. So yes, risk management could be in a famous clearinghouse. Again, I'm not going to make names now, although I have in my mind, or in other finance corporation. Investment analyst or financial engineer. Some of you may want to work with structured products. So I wouldn't be surprised about your career projection. That could be any of these. And I'm really look forward to be engaging with you once that you get your first role. Here you find some of the names. The list is very, very long. And in order to make it readable, we just left some names. Goldman Sachs, you have Barclays Bank, Bloomberg. Bloomberg is very much data-driven, so that's not surprising. London Stock Exchange, you have Fitch Ratings, you have HSBC, and Jefferies, that perhaps some of you may be appealed by Jefferies, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, which is the largest fund in the world, and so on and so forth. And again, I'm curious to see how our full list is going to become longer when you graduate and find your first job. Alumni love to come back to us, and one of our recent finance alumni came back to give a witness of the strength of the career service. You will see this is a genuine person. This is the same that our careers team has as well, our program administrators have, and so on and so forth. And that's witnessed by Jean Lu message, in which was able to find her passion, and she was able to improve in her networking skills thanks to the continuous support of our consultants, career consultants, thanks to all the events that we made with alumni and with other financial practitioners. You may be interested into bursaries. Again, the slide will not be enough. I was checking even yesterday all the scholarships that we get. UCL offers many scholarships. If you use the QR code, you can see a very long list. And then there are other hyperlinks within that QR code where you can see even more. Just to let you know, the School of Management scholarships, you can apply for them only after that you get the offer for the master. All the other scholarship UCL wide, you can apply even before, but be careful to the deadlines. We just summarize only a few of them. There are many, many more. Of course, I would be more than happy to stay in touch with you, my colleagues as well. We are very much present in various social media. My webpage and Dorothy's webpage is available online, so you can find our email address as well if you have additional questions. But for now, it's time to move towards the Q&A. But my point is that just become an expert in the city's hottest combo, the combo between finance and data science. We look forward to welcoming you. So I hope that you enjoyed. And now the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea. That was great. I was making notes frantically, and I definitely learned a lot as well from both of you. So thank you. I can see we've got a couple of questions have already come through in the chat. So thank you guys for popping them in there. As I kind of mentioned at the start, if you are in a space where you can turn on your mic and your camera, so we can just actually put some faces to names, that would be really appreciated. So if anyone does have a question they'd like to ask live, we'll address those first, and then we'll move on to the chat ones as well. I'll give you guys like a bit of time for you to raise your hand and think about it. But one thing I was saying is I say this at every single one of these kind of presentations we do across the department. and I hope people listen, but I never know if they take it really seriously. This is a really good opportunity for you to ask questions to the two program directors in the room. It's not commonplace that you get this much kind of one-on-one time with a program director before you even join a program. So I would say take this opportunity, make the most of it. There's no such thing as a silly question. Just ask it. You're in a safe, happy space. We want to answer your questions and make sure that if you are considering one of our programs, it's the right one for you. So make the most of the time and just please ask away. Do we have any hands go up? I know it can be intimidating to be the first one. Okay, while we'll wait for you guys to think if anyone does want to do a live one, we've had one in the chat which is asking about submitting a CV. So do I need to include modules from my degree, or is the grade I obtained enough? So I suppose this is more about what exactly are we looking for in a CV, because some people might be coming straight out of undergrad, so not have that much work experience, as it were, to put on there. So what are you kind of looking for in that?
So thank you very much, Ken, for the question. Thank you, Grace, for reading for us. So throughout my career, I read so many CVs and I helped students to write their CVs. So I saw quite variability. In your application, you're going to submit the official transcript. So there is no necessary need to add the module list in your CV. The best CVs generally at a junior careers level are 1 page long. So it may be tough to put everything inside. So in this sense, the module list is not really needed for me, because we are going to read from the official transcript that of all the modules that you got a mark up to that point, of course. So don't be worried about that.
Yeah, what I would say is that most often, if this helps, we just see in the CV like a few selected highlights of like the core module or the modules that are most related to, say, the program that you're applying for. That sometimes helps just to highlight, the relevant modules you've taken. But absolutely, we focus a lot on the transcript. So it would be additional, superfluous information, I guess.
Perfect. Thank you both. I can see someone's turned their camera on. Is that to ask a question, or is that just so we can see your face? If it is, then please feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't find out to raise my hand, so I'm just gonna ask my question right away. So first, thank you for the presentation. It was very clear. My question is about how many hours of class can we expect per week, approximately, in both programs, MSc in Finance and MSc in Finance with Data Science? Thank you.
So each module you take is each 15 credit module you take is 3 hours of classes a week. So if you're taking 4 modules in the MSc Finance in term 1, that would be 12 hours of classes. In the data science program, there are 30 credit modules, so you're going to get 6 hours for each of those 2 big modules. So that's 12 hours as well. And that's usually the format that we take. It's 3 hours in a row in one big session. It's usually a combination of lectures, workshops, kind of tutorial work as well. But yeah, we run them in kind of a 3-hour session. It's unlike undergrads where we sometimes see kind of 2 hours and a 2-hour lecture plus a 1-hour seminar. It's just a 3-hour, I would say, lecture/workshop that we run together for each of the modules.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because you saw before the journey of finance with data science, and you saw that there are only 2 modules in the autumn term, because they are the double the size. So instead of being the classical 3 hours per week, it's going to be 6 hours per week. But they will be split, and I can tell you a little bit more on these 2 modules. Actually, given that in both modules there will be a lab component in which we really have to train with coding, with data, and so on and so forth. Quite often there will be 2-hour slots instead of 3. That is an exception, because normally it's 3-hour slots each. And don't be worried, there will be comfort break, because we all need for a moment to think about, to have even a chat. Some of the students prefer asking questions to the lecturers during the break, not during the lecture. It would be better the opposite, but everybody has a different taste, so it would be very much tailored on you in any case. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, I would just add that the schedule is very full. Like if you think, oh, my working week is 40 hours a week and it's like only 12 hours classes, like we assume we kind of pack in work for another probably 5-6 hours per module per week of independent learning. All of your Wednesdays are scheduled for career sessions. So those are block booked. So you have 2 or 3 hours of career sessions. We have corporate speaker series that we expect we will hope that our students would engage in. There's a few social events. So so your schedule becomes, and then of course once it starts going, you need time for coursework and assessments and so on. So it becomes very very busy.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if anyone else has got a question, but maybe I can ask my second one really quick. So I saw that there is at the end of the program there is the research thing, and it. So my question was about more about the internship. Is there any internship? Does it include a potential internship in this phase, or not?
So that is a very valid question. You will be a full-time student, which means that being a full-time student, there are some restrictions on the number of hours that you will be entitled to work. The research projects, while it's not the old-fashioned dissertation, still will require substantial work. If it comes through an agreement with a company, so for example, a company gives the topic and you work on that topic, it may happen, but that would be something different, that there could be some sort of contractual agreement. But generally speaking, I would not advise to go for an internship in the summer term. Maximum, really a part-time one, because otherwise it would be unfeasible. I saw many talented students trying to do both and actually failing to do both. And that's very disheartening, especially when you see very talented students that you work for many months together, that you know basically everything about them, and they know everything about you as well, and ending up the master not in the best possible way. But I see your point, of course, because you want to have a career, you want to start as soon as possible. But trust me, the support we are going to give would be such that I have no doubts that perhaps in September you will have already a job.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think just to reiterate, as Dorothy and Andrea said, your schedules are packed. So I think you would struggle to even find the hours in the day to balance too many other things. But it's 1 year to get you set up for the rest of your life. Just try and think about it a bit like that. You'll have all the time in the world to work. Trust us, we're there. The work doesn't stop that early on. And I think, Carolina, you turned your camera on if you'd like to ask your question.
Yes. I just had a quick question. So I'm Carolina. I'm originally from Brazil, but I did my undergraduate degree in Berkeley, California. I did econ with a minor in data science, so I have a bit of a quantitative background. I did the GRE, but I didn't get the 165. Do you think it's worth it, like for me to I got above 160, like I got a good score, just not above 165. Do you recommend retaking before I apply to try to get above the 165? Or, given that I have a quantitative background, I have internships in finance, I already have a bit of, a background in data science as well. Do you think it is necessarily to take it again? I'm just really evaluating if I should apply already or wait a bit more.
Thank you very much for your question, Carolina. It's very clear. And it's very also tricky for me to provide advices without seeing the whole picture, the whole application pack, as I love calling it. My suggestion is, if you have time, and certainly you still have time to apply, I will go for a retake. There is nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, you keep the previous test score. But just to let you know, we evaluate each candidate in a very competitive manner, considering all the aspects. So even if many applicants, for example, do not have great career expertise because perhaps they've just finished a bachelor. It's pretty standard. But there are other features. In your case, you may have already some job expertise. We consider everything, and then we make a final evaluation. But again, you are still in time if you want to increase, if you want to optimize as the Homo economicus, what will you do? You will try with a retake. But see also your current workload if you have time to go for it. In any case, it's very much good that you already done all these kind of things. So I'm sure that your case will be a very interesting one.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback.
Perfect, thank you. I can see if anyone else wants to pop their camera on and ask away, please do. But if not, then I think someone might be. There we go. Yep, someone else pop their camera on. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Qutayb and I just have two quick questions, if you don't mind. First of all, thank you very much for this informative presentation. Really enjoyed it. Number one, would it be possible to share the recording or the presentation with us, or that's not allowed?
Yes, so you will get a follow-up email from us with the recording, so you can go and watch it in your own time. So that's absolutely fine. You'll receive that.
That's beautiful. Now, for the more important question, would you recommend any reading materials for the masters in finance with data science, like in the books that will be taught, or like can you recommend basically a book or article or journal or something, basically these kinds of sorts of informative informations?
That would be a super long conversation if we open this Pandora box, because then you are getting all my academic side. So yes, of course, but please feel reassured that during your pre-sessional, you will get quite a lot of material to work on. And also there will be some miscellaneous, let's call it like this, in which there will be further readings on economics, finance, and even data science. So unless you really have time right now, then feel free to email me and I will give you a list of readings. But if you are still studying and have other commitments, don't be worried. In around June, July time, we are going to write to all those that got the offer that have decided to come over with all the information for the pre-session. So you will get readings at that point. But again, if you have additional spare time earlier, feel free to email me and I will be more than pleased then provide you with ideas for reading it.
Absolutely. I will email you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Perfect, thank you. I can see we've got Blake, you've popped your camera on if you'd like to ask me your question. You're on mute. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Hi, my name is Blake, and I go to school at the University of Michigan in the United States. And my question is, since the program is on a rolling, like its admissions are done on a rolling basis, are you guys able to say how full the program currently is, given it opened in October?
Well, actually, the data science program, Andrea, you can say. I just as a general, thought though, I guess we're looking to close April, May time, I think. So I guess proportionately, that's where we are. About halfway through, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it is better to apply early. That is true. I mean, it is rolling, and we do keep it open for as long as we possibly can to give candidates a lot of time. But obviously, we assess candidates on a rolling basis. So if the program gets full, it gets full. Like we can, So it's better if you can, to apply as soon as you can.
I think this is a very wise advice. Postponing, especially when you have time, is never a good idea because then you can tend either to forget or you recall at the very last minute, but then you are rushing and your application package may not be great. So if you have time, better to apply, to be organized and apply relatively soon. Well, there is still time before April, but again, the sooner is always the better. But that's my point, and also Dorothy's point. As Dorothy mentioned, finance with data science is going to have a certain number limits because we really want to follow you. That's the thing. I could enroll 200 students, but then the support would be different if I enroll 100 students, just to make an example. These are very invented numbers in this moment. Okay, so just keep this in mind.
Yeah, apply earlier if you can, just to avoid the risk of the program getting full before you apply. I suppose that's the main piece of advice. Yeah.
I was planning on applying by the end of the month, but I just wanted to make sure like it wasn't going to close next week or anything.
No.
No. The end of
Okay.
the month is certainly fine. Even February is probably fine, so don't be worried about that. Until April is going to be okay. But again, the sooner the better.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Just to add to that on application dates, obviously we're talking about the two different programs here, and there are some nuances in terms of that. So if you are interested in finance or data science, the application closing date for that is the 27th of June for anyone who requires a visa, and then it is later for UK students or people who have UK settlement status, which will be 29th of August. So that's finance for data science. For finance, it is a bit sooner. It's the application window then is the 4th of April. So have a look on the website when you're looking at this and make sure you don't mix up your dates if you're thinking about the two programs and think, oh yeah, I've got until X date. They are slightly different, so just bear that in mind. And just to, I know you were asking for like a number specifically. We wouldn't want to give you a number because, as you've said, it's rolling and that changes every single day. So whilst we might be a percentage today, next week we could be completely different, and there's no necessarily like a chart we could follow from year on year, because it really does vary when people just have the impetus to apply. So hence why we were probably a bit vaguer than you'd like, but we can't give a specific number because that would probably be misleading in the other sense, just to flag on that. Perfect, thank you. I can't see any other cameras on at the minute, so whilst, in case anyone does want to, please pop it on. But for now, I'll just head over to the chat because there was some more in there that we just wanted to get through. So a piece of question is, what is the average working years of experience from the program cohort? So do we get straight from undergrad, or do we get some people with experience?
That's an interesting question. I would say, and Dorothy, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, most of them are actually coming right after the bachelor studies, although there are cases of students that have been working for 1 year or 2 years, or they took the year off. Sometimes this happens as well. So it's actually fairly junior cohort in that sense.
Yeah, I think the average age is about 23. So it's usually predominantly straight after undergrad, or but even then, I guess a lot of our we get a lot of high quality candidates who have managed to jam in lots of work experience from internships. So it's not like they totally don't have any work experience or to draw upon. But then we also get students that are, mature students. So it can vary a lot. Mature students who have worked for up to 10 years, even say, and we're coming back to kind of refocus or kickstart their career in finance or the bit. So, but in general, I would say that it's mainly straight from undergrads.
And this doesn't mean that mature students or a student, an applicant with some years of experience cannot apply. Actually, we consider all these type of different backgrounds because they enrich our community. As long as I have very clever students, I'm more than happy because I can learn from them, not only they from me. So that would be great. So I don't want to discourage any student that has more than 1 or 2 years, any attendees that are more than 1 or 2 years of postgraduate working experience, because we check everything. Okay, they're more than welcome.
Perfect, thank you very much. No, I can't see any more cameras on at the moment or any hands raised, so we'll continue with the ones in the chat, but please do raise your hand or pop your camera on if you're able to and you want to ask a question, because it is really nice to see your faces. I think we've all really enjoyed that part as well. So if you can, please do. But for MSc Finance with Data Science, should a prospect already have their research topics in mind before applying to the program? Is it too early to start thinking about that now?
Well, you can start, Brian, thinking right now, but no, the answer is no. I do hope that you will get passionate about something, some topics that you are going to teach, and that will become your research your strength, and then are going to work on that research topic. So that's my point. Usually this is what happens. You start with your models, there is a topic that you do love, and then you want to make a research on that.
Perfect, thank you. And yeah, a lot can change in a year. What you might not realize that you're going to love a module as much as you do. We've had some students in other programs, and not obviously this one because it's new, but who thought that coding might not be their cup of tea, and they've loved it at the end. So you may change your preferences as the year progresses. And then there's a question here about kind of waivers for fees. So I'll just take that one if that's okay. The application fee isn't something we can waive. It's mandated by the entire college. So there won't be a waiver on that. I think it's around about £160. I'll check just to be sure. But unfortunately, there's not much wiggle room on that. If, for example, as a part of any government schemes, it may be that the government part of that scheme will cover the waiver fee. So do look into the fine print there. But in terms of it being waived on our side, unfortunately, we're not able to. But it doesn't mean that if you've got some sort of funding, it's not included in their package to you. So I would say your best bet is to have a look there and see if that is covered via what they're offering you. But I think someone else has reached out about different programs on offer at the school. So I think, Andrea, you've popped your email in there for them to get in contact with you separately, and that makes sense for individual cases. We won't go into those, but just to kind of mention something else is we're talking today about finance with data science. We're talking about our finance program. There is also, for people who might think, I love the idea of this, but it's not, it might be, for lack of a better word, too much in terms of the focus on finance for you, or it might not be the kind of skill set that you have or want to develop. So I would also say if you are thinking about it and these two programs aren't quite the right fit based on what Dorothy and Andrea have said, we have a Masters in Management program with a finance pathway, which might be something to look at and consider. So we won't go into too much detail there, but it is different to the two programs we're discussing and doesn't have such a quantitative focus throughout the entire year, or is so reliant on or is so linked in with the CFA kind of teaching. So maybe have a look at that one as well if someone is thinking that is where they might be better suited. Perfect. I think those are all the questions I can see in the chat and on the call itself, but we do have a little bit of time left, a couple of 5 minutes or so. So if anyone does have a question, please feel free to just ask it. We're not going to cut you off straight away, but Andrea has popped his email address in the chat, so you can have a look there and see. You'll also be able to find all of us that you've seen, the faces, on our people page on the website, and our email addresses are there, so do feel free to have a look. But if anyone doesn't, unless people have any other questions, I'll hand over to Andrea and Dorothy in case you've got any kind of closing remarks you just want to flag about the programs and the differences.
I can say something. This is really an exciting time for the School of Management. We are growing quite a lot. We are going to double our size in terms of faculty members, in terms of program administrators, and all the colleagues that are supporting us, because we go in the teaching room, but there is quite a lot of background work, and it's thanks to them if we are able to go to the teaching room. So this is really perfect. The dynamics is great. This is a huge university, but despite that, there is community. Again, community is very important. Many of you are coming from very different countries and continents, and the cultural change can be very tough, but that's a very supportive and empathic environment, I would say. So I would be very happy to welcome any of you in September. And please do stay in touch. My email address to simplify your research, I wrote in the chat, so feel free to email me if needed.
Yeah, and I would just say that, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. We're really proud of these two programs. So they are very competitive to get onto, and they're super demanding is what I really want to kind of get across. But they are also extremely rewarding, and I promise you will learn so much in your year. It'll fly by, and you will become so skilled. And I was reading in the FT recently that the MSc Finance kind of related type degrees are the ones that are generating the highest starting salaries. So maybe that's of no surprise. But there is, I understand it's a lot of money to kind of pay for the program, but I think we stand by it, and it's a very rewarding program. We think you'll learn a lot and you'll make friends for life.
Yeah, and you may be the new change makers. We hear frequently stories from our alumni that are creating startups, working in different realms in finance, and not even in finance, because once that you acquire the skills, you can apply also in other settings. They are really doing very cool things that will have an impact for the future. So you may be the next ones.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, we'll have to make memory of all your names and see who's gonna be the next one on the list. But thank you all for joining us today. It's been really nice to get to know some of you, and there's been some fantastic questions, so thank you very much. We can see you've already kind of done your research, quite a lot of you, with the questions that you're coming up with, so it's great. Anything else, do get in contact with us. Keep an eye on our social medias as well, because and our website, because there will be more things happening over the course of the next few months, whether that is campus tours. If you're based in the UK, you can come and see us on campus, or we run every 6 weeks we run a campus tour, so you can come and take part in that. And actually imagine what Canary Wharf is like. At the minute, I imagine it's quite a strange thing for you to think of, because it's a big tall building in East London, but it's quite nice to come and see where you would study. So if you have that possibility to come and see us, then please do. Any questions, reach out. But we just want to say thank you all for joining us, and we hope you found the session insightful, and hopefully we'll see you in September this year. Lovely. Okay, thank you.